Hi everybody, my name is Jeremy, this is Red Means Recording. Today we are looking at the Modbap Trinity, a 3-channel drum synthesis thing for Eurorack that can also be used via USB and MIDI. So if anybody is interested in getting into some kind of drum synthesis thing that can be used both in Eurorack, but also like as part of like a DAW that you could like actually MIDI sequence and MIDI modulate via a DAW, Trinity might be for you. Drum synthesis is a really interesting thing. We don't have a ton to choose from in Eurorack, and we certainly don't have a lot of really interesting drum synthesis to choose from in hardware gear, especially not at this price point. So I think it'll be kind of interesting to give the Trinity a go, hear what it sounds like, and put it in some different contexts, right? So this video will be in 3 different parts. The first part will be going through the front panel of the Trinity, hearing a little bit of what the controls do, and the rest of it will be demos. I'll be doing a couple different context things here because the Trinity has a really wide range of tones available to it, including the ability to kind of sound like a synth voice, which is really, really nifty. So make sure to check the chapter markers to look at what you want to look at, and let's get started with the Trinity. Here is our little baby right here. We have 3 drum channels. You're hearing a tiny bit of effects from the Desmodus. I'll go ahead and turn that down real quick. We have 3 that can be triggered right there. That's why it's called the Trinity. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to select the first one, and this will be our kick. I'm going to hit play, and we'll hear that we have a kick drum. So let's go from left to right on the controls here. First of all, we have pitch. Obviously, for a kick drum, you want to keep that fundamental low. Next, we have what's called sweep. Most kick drums have a little pitch drop right at the beginning to help give it like an extra little bump of frequency right at the beginning that goes very quickly by. But we can adjust the timing of that too. So we can get just really, really punchy or kind of like low and 8080, which is real nice. We'll go with the big knobs for right now. Next up is character. So really, really smooth right here, and adding a little bit of extra character as we go to the right. Next up we have shape. And each one of these is going to do something slightly different depending on which type here. We'll get to the types in a bit. Then grit, which is one of my favorite. It adds a really nice, as you might expect, grit to the sound. And then we have decay. So you can get just massive, massive kick drums out of this. And since it has 1 volt per octave, we can actually turn this into a bass voice as well. Then we have these little pots right here. The first one is a DJ style filter, high pass, low pass, volume, clip or distortion. Yeah. And then hold. So when hold is all the way down, decay is going to be your only control. And then when we turn up hold, it starts holding according to the trigger coming in or the gate coming in. So you can actually change the topology of the kick drum quite a bit, or the sound quite a bit, depending on what length of gate you have going in there. Okay, we have 4 types. And as far as I understand, each one of these voices can pick from all 4 of the different types, which is cool. All right, let's move on to our second voice. So we can get a nice little like almost 8080 kind of snare sound. Okay. That's a nice, snappy little snare. Let's bring in our third one. Shift on over to our hi-hat. This one's really interesting because you can get these little ratchets out of it. And that can be automated with CV. Now, of course, we could pick a different thing. You get a white noise wash, which is nice. This one kind of sounds like a cymbal. Oh, that's good. I'm actually really impressed with the quality of the cymbal sounds specifically. It's really, really hard to get good synth cymbal sounds and good synth hi-hat sounds. One of the cool things we can do with this is the cycle function right here. When I turn cycle on, there's two modes that it will cycle in. One is completely random between the types, and the other is a round robin. So let's turn that on. This is the random one. So if anyone's played around with the model mode in plates where you can just switch between all the models with CV, this is kind of like that. And it's going to get really, really crazy when we decide to modulate this heavily with CV in a few of the demos. We also have round robin mode. So if you're giving this an even pattern, you will get like a pattern out of the type as well. Put little proots in your music, little protogens. I like it. This works for all of the voices, by the way. We also have a stack function. What the stack function will do is take the trigger from one and stack either one of the voices or both of them with that. But they also seem to respond to triggers coming in as well, which is kind of interesting. Okay, that's the Trinity, baby. We have all of these different modulation inputs here. I'm going to turn up the modulation on the decay a little bit. And on the snare. Just a little bit. Just add a little bit of variety. All right. So the best way to get to know it anymore is to push it through some performances. And that's what we're going to do. I'm going to take this beat and do a performance with it. And then I'm going to do one where it's all synth voices. I'm going to do one where it gets heavily modulated and goes super crazy. And then I'll probably do an ambient one as well. I'll sign off at the end of the video, but let's make some music, okay? so in this one, I'm going to show you how the Trinity can sound like a quirky little synth engine. As of the moment, I am noticing a little bit of strangeness on pitch tracking, so I'm going to talk to Modbap about that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit play, and you're going to hear all three of the Trinity's voices go. Right now, they're all set to the same engine. They all have pretty much the same settings. They're getting pitch and gate information from the chaos here, so there's going to be a quirky little sequence. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in data bender and beads to add some effects to it. And then I'm going to start turning up all the modulation I have going to Trinity. And then finally, I'm going to turn cycle on both the last two engines, and it's just going to get really, really wild. So dry Trinity, add effects, add modulation, turn on cycle. Here we go. This is what protogens sound like in their head all the time. All right, let's bring in beads and data bender. Do the robot shuffle. Do it. Okay. Now that we've heard this, it's time to bring in some modulation. I have all the channels of Maestro and all 4 channels of the abstract data ADE32 sending out mostly stepped sample and hold stuff. So things are going to change in step values. So here we go. It's just so weird. Okay, now I'm going to turn up cycle and decay, and we'll hear a little bit more of the modulation. So, is it the prettiest synth voice in the world? No, but it's really, really cool. I knew this thing would be good at glitch the moment I heard it. I feel kind of bad because I haven't put anything into it that you could consider like traditional boom bap stuff. So maybe I'll do that for the final thing and sign off. I just love this shit. Have we had enough robots? I would argue no. But that's just me.
Falling apart, falling on the floor, sticking my face where it doesn't belong anymore. Take it apart, I got nothing left to live for, got nothing to love. Do you think this is a game now? Do you think this is a game now?
So yeah, that's the Modbap Trinity, a fun little drum machine thing for your Eurorack or not Eurorack system, whatever you want. I don't care. I'm not your dad. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Jeremy. Whatever you're hearing right now is the little boom bap thing I came up with at the end. I hope you've enjoyed this. Check links in the description for Patreon and other music. So I've got albums out. Go check out albums, music. That's me, Jeremy. Red Means Recording. Goodbye. Have a wonderful day.